What up, though? I am Jay the Gentleman. That's at J-A-I the Gentleman. And this is Dear Black Gay Men Live. It's still our short, bullshit-free step out of our comfort zone to talk about all the emotional ups and downs along the journey to happiness. Now, we're having real conversations with real people live on the Dear Black Gay Men YouTube channel. My guest tonight is just released his latest project called Z, which I was bumping before my first show. So I'm like, I'm all for him right now. He is a recording artist, a vocal coach, and one of the hosts of the Blu The Podcast. Please welcome J.Gordon to the show. Hey, girl.
Hello there.
Are you okay with girl? Are you okay with gender bending pronouns?
Only from queer men. Only from queer black men. I do not like it from I don't like it from cisgendered women, or I don't like it from any women in general. So queer black men.
Okay. Okay, good. Because I didn't want to offend you by calling you girl, but it's definitely a term of endearment.
Yeah.
So, how are you?
I am excellent.
How is life treating you in California?
Life is fantastic. I love it out here. The weather is great. My parents are in Dallas right now, and it is like snow. Well, not necessarily snowing, but it's ice on the ground, and it's a good crisp 70-something degrees out here. So Los Angeles is treating me fantastic.
You know I'm from Dallas, right? You know I'm from Dallas.
Are you from Dallas? Oh,
I'm from Dallas.
What part of Dallas?
I was about to ask. So I grew up in the suburbs, but I lived my important years in Oak Cliff.
Yes, Oak Cliff. Okay,
Oak Cliff, Pleasant Grove.
Oh, okay. So we're from the same areas. We live in Pleasant Grove, but I went to school in Oak Cliff.
What school did you go to? What high school?
High school I went to Carter. So
my best friend. So my best friend went to Skyline.
Come on,
and him and his twin, they went to Skyline. I always wanted to go to Skyline, but I went to a white school.
Why?
And
what
then
was in Skyline that you wanted to be a part of?
Black people.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
So you from Dallas? So I lived in Louisville County.
Okay, so you was Dallas adjacent.
I was Dallas adjacent, far enough to where people are like, "Where is that?" I lived in a city called Flower Mound. It was all white. My graduating class had like 600 people, but my school only had like 50 black people.
Yeah.
And I was dying for a black experience. So when I got into the city, I wanted to go to Maceo, then I wanted to go to Lincoln, then I wanted to go to Skyline.
Oh, you was trying to be fully immersed.
I wanted to be hood. Like where I live now is very hood, and I love it. I love every second of living in the hood.
And see, I had never had an experience with going to school with people that were not black until I went to UT in Austin. Now, and that was like a complete 180. But the black
I went to UT San Antonio.
Huh?
I went to UT San Antonio.
Look, we kindred spirits. We just didn't even know it.
We were an hour away from each other. Didn't even know it all. Now, granted enough, I'm probably older than you, but we were at the similar school, at schools close to each other.
Yeah.
So tell me about your project Z. What inspired this particular project?
Okay, so Z, I started writing on Z back in May of last year. What inspired the project was I had recently, and back in April, on April 10th, I had a breakup with the guy that I was with. And so, that first month you kind of be just extremely depressed, and I had like literally canceled every booking that I had for like a good month or so. But I got invited to come and work with Angelica Ross, and I was like, okay, this is the opportunity you can't pass up. So get your ass up and just take your depressed ass on over here and write. And so, but when I got there and when I started doing it, it was like, I kind of forgot, like the pain just kind of went away. Like I was just I was doing the thing that I loved. And in that moment, I felt good. Like I wasn't hurting. So I was like, you know what? I just need to keep doing this then. So I don't have to, and it just kind of, and that was my way of saying things I needed to say that I felt like sometimes I felt like I didn't get to say to my old partner. And then just kind of, I wanted
to hate that
through my healing process, so yeah, it was just kind of healing.
Didn't you? So let's talk about this old partner without getting into the gory details. So interesting enough, I had a breakup that started this whole process, this whole podcast, right?
That'll do.
And so it's very interesting you say that you had a breakup that inspired in part your current project.
Yeah.
What did the lack of closure look like for you? Was that depression? Was that being down and out, or did it all just look like inspiration to get it out?
First of all, I'm not necessarily, well, maybe I am. I think that things are changing for me. But for the longest, I never was a person that kind of believed in the idea of like closure.
What?
Yeah.
Why not?
I just always felt like it was just like a way to kind of connect with someone that kind of was not like, I am a person that is very big on like, if you don't want to know me, I will make sure you won't ever have to worry about that. Like and I can go away and feel whatever I feel and process it and whatever. The thing I did realize I did do, I did make some assumptions about his thoughts and feelings that I recently realized kind of thing that were different. So I think that's the only thing, but
did you have a conversation to get that realization, or did you just kind of learn it yourself?
That we had a conversation.
So I recently had a conversation with my ex. I call him Joe on my podcast. Like my podcast, I talk about all my relationships, but I call him Joe, and we had to have a conversation. So I learned so much about myself in that. Did you learn anything about you in your conversation?
I kind of really did. And it was because it was more so like, okay, so when the project came out, I just expected to just kind of never hear from him again.
Never see him again. Yeah.
And then he reached out to me when the project came out, and me and my best friend had a conversation about it because I just kind of didn't know how to deal with that because again, I was not expecting to ever really hear from him. And my best friend shed some light on some things that helped me a lot, and I think that I had kind of been I wasn't allowing any room for my ex's humanity. And so I was just
That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
That was life-shattering nugget. You didn't allow space for your ex's humanity.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that? How did you see that? Learn that?
My best friend was just like my best friend told me, he's like, you need to, he's like, because of that text, it was a lot of stuff I was just telling him that I was feeling. And he's like, you have not forgiven him. You think you have, but you have not. You've just kind of been running from really, really dealing with how you feel about this situation with this person.
OMG.
And so he's like, yes, the situation was fucked up, but he's a person. He didn't know what the fuck he's doing either. Y'all are both trying to figure the shit out. Y'all are both on this like very human and flawed journey. Like, allow him to be a person, allow him grace. So it was in that, and that was like a boom. Like, cause I was just like,
that's a boom for me. Oh my God, that was good. That was so good. I think you just changed me a little bit.
It did really change how I looked at it. Like, you just, like, it gave me some softness when I think about him, and when I kind of like, yeah, because I was very hard. The door was like closed tight and shut, and I was just shutting him out of every aspect of my life. But it was just like, it gave me some softness with it, because it's just like, you don't know what you're doing either. We both just figuring it out. You didn't know what you were doing. The mistake, we all gonna fuck some shit up. And, and sometimes fucking some shit up it sucks to say, but it's at the expense of someone else's feelings. And it sucks sometimes, but that's the reality of it. And it's just like, we didn't know what we was doing. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. It was a lot of shit I saw that I probably should have, I know I should have done differently.
Oh my God, that was good. That was good, J.Gordon. You clearly didn't come on this show for that conversation, but when I tell you that helped me, that helped me. Hold on, because we got to take a break right there. I got to gather my thoughts. All right, we'll be right back. Dear Black Gay Men Live is brought to you in part by
That's one of the reasons why I love her so much, because we can connect on so many levels like that.
Through her pictures, I was like, this girl is beautiful. I was like, good job.
Welcome back to the show. If you're enjoying the show, make sure that you subscribe to Dear Black Gay Men on YouTube. We're 12 episodes in, and we've already hit 5,000 subscribers. And I want to thank everybody who is listening, who has subscribed to us on the YouTube channel. Subscribing is the easiest way to support this channel. But if you really love us, you'll hit the notification bell and then drop a comment. I want to know, when's the last time you got closure from a relationship? Because J.Gordon just kind of grew me up just that fast. And I'm like, when's the last time y'all got closure from a relationship? When and how and what? I want to know. Drop a comment and let me know. So, you, J.Gordon, hey,
Hi.
You are also the host of Blu The Podcast. Where did that idea come from?
So back in June of last year, like all of this whole era I'm in, we can credit Angelica Ross for. So Angelica, I had to do a show because I'm her background singer, and so she was doing a show at Soho House, and so she wanted myself and the other background singer to open for her. And I was like, oh, what am I going to sing? Because I hadn't performed live in 5 years before that time.
Why?
So, but I just write. I pegged myself as a writer. So I just be writing songs or whatever. So I was like,
I'm so glad you got back into performing.
And I love it. I used to hate it. I love it now.
I'm so glad you got back into it.
Thank you. So I was like,
but go ahead.
I was like, I don't know what I can sing for this type of like, because the vibe there was real chill, you know? So I was like, I had told her at rehearsal, I was like, well, girl, I got this song I wrote, like last week or whatever. I was like, I can sing that for you and you can let me know whether you feel like that works. So I sung this song I wrote called Blue. And Blue is about me kind of defining masculinity for myself as a queer man. And so when I sung Blue, she was like, I have chills, you're singing that. And so I was like, okay. So then I went and I performed it, and the response to it was like amazing. And then somebody came up to me afterwards and they was like, where can I get that song? Like, I need to listen to that. And I was just like, I lied on the spot. I was like, oh, it'll be out next week. So I had to just throw the song out next week. And it kind of just took a life of its own. And I felt, and then the music itself just inspired a lot of real interesting conversations. And so I was like, I am a podcast. I listen to more podcasts than I do music. So I kind of always wanted to do one, but I just never did. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm doing shit I ain't never done now. So let's do a limited series. And I wanted queer men and a straight person but I wanted queer men from varying parts of the spectrum. So I wanted a masculine presenting queer man. I wanted a kind of gender fluid queer man. And then I wanted a straight guy. And I wanted to talk about masculinity. And it just kind of, and the conversation was great and the responses were great. And it just kind of became a thing. And then I was like, okay, I'm just doing this now.
Okay. So on the podcast, you said this is what I want to talk about. Check this out.
Okay.
From elementary, I just stopped fucking with straight people. And I didn't even know I was doing that, but straight men, I just stopped fucking with you altogether. I will make it known that I don't want your attention at all. And when I came to California was literally the first time in my entire life where I experienced being around like straight black men that were like cool with that was just okay. Shout out to the people at my old label, because I literally, when I first met the producers that I worked with, it was strange to me to be like just immediately like received and embraced in a good way from straight men. It was, I guess I'm not man enough for you.
So for you, what did being received and embraced by straight men, what did that look like in the season that you were in?
So when I moved here, when I signed to the label I was with, because I had experiences in Texas with producers that I had worked with that once they found that I was a queer person were, saying things like, oh, I don't know if that's good for my brand. And they kind of were separating, kind of distancing themselves from me. And so when I came here and when I went into that space with those producers, that was the first time that it was only about me and my talent. And they didn't care about anything else. Because they had heard about me, like, because I had been signed to that label before I worked with those specific group of producers. So, but when I started working with them, like, they kind of just became you meet producers sometimes that are kind of just like the yin to your yang when it comes to creativity. And so, yeah, when I met them, I was just, it didn't matter. And that was the first time that it didn't matter. Because I come from Texas. So that was the first experience I had where it just didn't matter. And they just fucked with me.
So I recently moved to Atlanta. So I moved from Texas. As you move from Texas going west, I moved from Texas going east. And now I'm in Atlanta. And my experience is the same just with black people. Like, I've never been in a space where my blackness was like, black is so ubiquitous here. Everybody is black. I went weeks without seeing a non-black person. So everybody's black. So then your black kind of just fits in and it's normal. Yeah. And what it sounds like you're saying is you being gay or queer was not as much a thing in California as it is in Texas. Do you think that was an acceptance or just it's not a factor?
I think that initially it was just not a factor, and then eventually it became I think it grew to an extent. From one of them in particular, it was instant acceptance, and like he and I had a whole lot of very intimate conversations about my experience. Like, one of the producers, like, I can literally say, me and him, when I was telling him about a lot of my experiences, he got like so sad, and he was like, I'm so sorry that you had to deal with those types of things, because it had come to a point in Texas where I just had to stop working with real people, and I would just work with people, like, it would just be emails. I would never I stopped having the opportunity to work in studios with people because of that. So I think it began as just like, okay, whatever. And then after a while, once we kind of became family, Because I brought my ex around and they loved it. Like everybody just embraced him. Like he was just a part of like an extent, because he was just an extension of me. So they embraced him like immediately. And so I think that it started out as a okay. And then after a while it was like, because I could even notice the things I noticed even was like certain things that they would say when I would first meet them that were homophobic. They went through, like, I remember them catching themselves after a while saying different things, and after a while it just kind of stopped. So I think that they were seeing me and respecting me, you know what I mean, and my queerness after a while.
I'm just so curious because you don't seem that, what's the word that I'm looking, like you seem really, I don't want to say normal, like being queer is abnormal. Like you seem really just, you know, one of the niggas, like we gonna kick it. I'm so curious. Where did is it that you were dealing in Texas with really small-minded people, or were you really out of the box, something that people had never seen? Because you don't seem so anomalous to me as I'm talking to you.
I am one that I don't hide my queerness. I use queer lingo. I feel like every gay person, however masculine they present, you get them around the right group of friends, and a person gonna fall out. Yes, and so,
and I say that affectionately.
Like if I feel it, I don't care who the fuck I'm around. Like if I see something cute, I'm gonna be like, yeah, like, you know. So I don't, and that was happening, you know. And then like the other songwriters were girls, so me and black women I love. So it was just like, and then it was other queer black women. So we was just really seeing eye to eye. So it was yeah, like I don't know, like I kind of waver a bit. Like it's like my masculine shows up, but then when I don't hide any parts of my feminine identity either. Like you're gonna get what you get.
So were you just so is it just your experience lent itself to a small town, like were you just dealing with hood niggas in Texas?
I mean,
that's how I'm thinking it.
Producers are always the 99% of producers in the industry are hood niggas. Like it's all I maybe can say I've been to one or two studios, and those were mostly non-black people, where I've walked in and the producer was not a hood nigga. But I think that I'm a person like,
really,
that producers are hood niggas. It's always like that. It's always.
Well, I'm not. Well, you might not know, but I don't do nothing in music. Like I'm television, and everything television is run by the gays somehow. Everything is run by one of the girls.
Oh yeah, no, it's not like that over here at all. But I'm a person though that low key, even when I present, like even in my presentation, it's something about my aura where it's like my queerness walks into a room, like she introduces me regardless of what. I don't got, like, I've had a few people that be like, oh, if you didn't say anything, I wouldn't know. But I don't know. I've always felt like my queerness always entered a space before me. So
really, now granted enough, you are a country away from where I am, but I don't get that from. Perhaps it's because I am gay. Like I'm gay as Christmas, so
right.
Maybe I'm skewed, but you just seem so. I mean, you seem like I could kick it with you. Not that I couldn't if you were super flamboyant or feminine, but it just seems I wouldn't say that you are an outlier to our culture. That's what that's what I'm trying to say. You seem yourself.
Yeah.
You seem grounded in an expression of self that is authentic. And that is why I'm just like, who the fuck would fuck with you? Like, why would that ever be a thing? But again, I'm one of the girls.
I would like to know as well.
I'm one of the girls, so there's that. Okay, let's take another break. And when we get back, I do want to ask you some more personal questions. Are you okay with that?
I'm cool with that.
I ain't gonna ask you nothing invasive. I promise.
Okay, look, I'm very good at a pivot. So if I ain't comfortable, I'll find a way around.
Okay, good. Well, when we get back, hopefully I'm gonna get some personal answers out of J.Gordon. We'll be right back.
No. Oh, I can't. No hug. My work ethic is above yours. You cannot fucking sit with me. Well, apparently you weren't on mute when Brandon came at you in that group chat, so apparently you did see it. How old are you? Why are you yelling? How old are you? Why are you yelling?
In a real tough, discussion right now. But hey, what's a show without drama, huh?
He's at work and he don't want to deal with y'all bullshit. Exactly what he said to me. You've been called out on that shit before. You be contradicting yourself. My thing is just take ownership of the shit that you do.
You get slapped. And you get slapped. You get slapped in front of him too, though. You get slapped for him too, though. You get slapped for him too, though, nigga.
Bitch. I want you to. I'm gonna knock you out. You better not swing. Bitch, I play on me, ho. Bitch, cause you doing that. You know you fucking wrong. You know I got attitude. Don't touch me. You gotta fuck you. Stupid ass.
Every time I watch that, I'm just like, oh my God, this show is crazy. But I have watched and listened to J.Gordon ever since we booked this interview, but I don't know much about you short of the short conversation that we've had. So if you're okay with it, I'd like to have a good old fashioned getting to know you session right here on Dear Black Gay Men Live. Is that okay?
That is perfectly fine.
What is your default love language?
Oh, I think I want to say, can it be more than one?
Yes.
I love quality time and physical touch.
Okay, what does quality time look like for you in a way that gives you the warm and fuzzies?
I guess it looks two ways. Like I'm good at I love times where my man is we're just sharing a space. Like I love like if I have a day where all I'm doing is like admin stuff, like sending emails, and my man is also here working on his computer. Like I love that. But then I also if we're together, I love undivided. Like I love, if you can't tell, I love a good deep conversation. So like I love good chats. I love, just like good laughs. Like I love undivided attention as well as leave me the hell alone, if that makes sense.
Okay, so what does physical touch look like for you? Are you like a hand holder, public displays of affection, or are you something else?
I am a hand holder, put my arm around you. If you cooking or even if we out, I'm gonna slap you on the ass. And when I walk by, I am all the things. I am an extremely affectionate person.
This one, Herbie says Taurus. Are you a Taurus? Are you a Taurus?
No, I am a Leo. But I'm on the cusp. So I'm like
August or July.
I'm the first day of Leo, so I do have a lot of Cancer-ish traits because I am I am very connected to how I feel and think about people.
Okay. Yeah. Are you dating anybody?
Oh no. I get emotional.
Why the oh no?
Oh no, like the window between my last relationship, the last relationship and then my more recent one was like 6 years. So I'm not a fast mover. I probably won't have a man again for at least another year or two. And that's at the, no. No. Okay. So when you are attracted to someone, what do you immediately physically notice? Okay, I have a strange two things. Of course the ass, but I have a weird one. I love calves. I love calf muscles for some reason. Don't know why. Really? I love calves. I don't know. Calf muscles? You don't like thighs? You're not into thigh meat? From the ankles up. You don't like thigh meat? I do love thighs. Thighs have been doing more for me lately, but it's still not as much as calves. Calves just do something for me. I don't know. What is it about? Is it like big calves? Is it like really toned? Because like basketball calves are very different than football calves. I like them when they tone. I like when it's like a small, like the calf to ankle ratio, like a small ankle, and in a nice cast.
Okay. I have never heard that the calf to ankle ratio. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what to do.
What's something else that you notice? Calves, ass. So bottom half of the body seems to be important to you.
It is very important to me. I love short men.
Because how tall are you?
I'm 6 foot.
Okay. And what is short when you say that?
I would love, like, my ideal man is about like 5'5" and under.
Like a pocket gay? Like a pocket gay?
I love a short man. Like, the tallest I think that I can do is like 5'9". But I love a short man. Okay.
Do you have a build that you're attracted to? Like, do you like him slim? Do you like him well built? Do you like him thick?
I love slim. I love like built. I don't like him to be like I don't want no like super muscle bound man. But I just like him to be like slender, because I'm a super active person. So we need to be able to do all the things, like go and hike and do all, I love being outside. So like, I love like I'll say an athletic build.
An athletic build.
Yes.
That could mean a million different things. that could be you. People say I have an athletic build, even though I'm definitely thick. Like I'm a thick nigga. So
okay, I'm gonna say this: the athletes that I was drawn to in college and high school were the boys that ran track. I love a sprinter.
Okay.
So
that's like built. That's like built, because sprinters, I got thick thighs, a high ass, a little bitty waist, broad shoulder. Like sprinters have body.
See, when I think of built, I think like stocky, like a football player. I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's a no for me. I don't want that big man on me. But I don't want no strong man.
Really? That is so interesting to me. Somebody said in the comment, they said dancer bodies. What about a dancer?
Oh God, yes. Oh, I love dancers. When I came to LA, that was the majority of the guys that I was like talking to were dancers. I love a dancer.
Okay. Okay. I will say that being here in Atlanta, I've fallen in love with the thick man. So I'm definitely, I want a man with a belly that can eat.
Come on, eat. Now we gotta be able to. Now we eating because I'm eating. So he got to eat. Because one thing about me is I'm gonna eat. But
how Herbie says, I want a big man on me. And fun fact, because I know who Herbie is, he's like 5'8" ish. Like he's I think he's kind of like what you're describing. But I don't know if he ran track, but he's definitely.
I like.
You like a chocolate man?
Oh God, yeah. I don't do no beige men. I got to be chocolate. Yeah, he got to be chocolate. The blacker the better.
Okay. This one says, I like a man that eats some Dairy Queen.
Come on, Dairy Queen.
I won't even comment on that one. Okay, so what is an underrated benefit of dating a black man? What is something about dating a black man that is definitely a benefit that people don't think about?
The ability to communicate without saying anything. Me and my ex especially when we were at functions, I could look at him and he could look at me and I know, okay, it's ready. You ready to go? Or, it's the in it, like the communication that we don't even got to say nothing. I just know. Because we've had similar, you know what I mean, cultural experiences.
You know what mine is?
What?
That there's always a head rag somewhere in the house.
Now, you know what? Yes. And because I can leave the house and not be concerned. Like, I could come over there and forget mine, and I know you got me. That's okay.
And you know there's one there's several.
Yeah.
Depending on what the hair looks like, there's a selection of them. Like we got satin bonnets, we got do-rags, we got stocking caps. We got everything you got for your hair care needs for an overnight stay.
For
if
an
you
overnight
forget
stay.
something.
You know what? Yeah. I love that.
I think I love those aspects of dating black men that other races can't duplicate. You can't go to no Latino, no Asian man and be like, can I borrow a do-rag? No, I don't even know what that is. But a black man is gonna have something to put on your head at night. Why? 2 reasons. A, he don't want you getting grease on his pillowcases, assuming he's got good pillows. And B, he don't want his scalp dried out.
Period. Yeah.
That's shit that only black people would know.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And it's important to me because I got locks and yeah. So that is one. Because we do I have a variety in here. I got a bonnet, I got my do-rag, I got my cap for my lock. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, you're right.
So what is a activity that you enjoy doing with someone you're dating that people wouldn't automatically assume that you got into? A pastime with you and Bae.
I'm trying to think of I'm trying to think of what we used to do a lot. We used to go to parks a lot. We used to take a lot of walks. We did do a lot of walks together, and we hiked a lot together. I just love anything outside. I just like doing. So I love a good park sit. Like take me to a park with a blanket, and me and my ex do it a lot. Like just go to a park and just chill on a blanket and talk, and So yeah. I think
what about those conversations was so memorable for you?
We just again it was we just kind of got each other a little bit, and it was like he understood my humor, I understood his, so it was just it was I don't know, it was just always fun. Like we didn't even have to be. We kind of knew when we didn't feel like talking. We knew when we did, So it was, I don't know. It was just the connection was a little bit like you got me a little bit.
Mine was always those moments when, kind of similar in what you're saying, when you can be silent in those moments. Like go on a picnic and he's scrolling Instagram and I'm reading a book, but it's it's still time spent. To me, that's still quality time, because my default love languages that I receive are words of affirmation and quality time. It's still quality because it's just us, but I think that it's like you graduate to a level where you can be silent with each other and still enjoy the space.
Yeah.
So what is your default love language that you give? How do you show your love by default?
I am a very much so like acts of service. I think that's my big one, is acts of service and probably physical touch. Like I'm gonna bend over backwards for you. Whatever you need, I got you.
What do you mean when you say acts of service? This comment says, I'm going to start calling, Herbie says, I'm going to start calling me a pocket gay. Cause I know who he is, but he is a pocket gay. But go ahead. What do you mean by acts of service when you say it?
I guess one of two things. Like one, I'm going to, like, I am very much so like it, because I love when my man is ambitious. So like when he's when he's doing whatever he's doing work wise and he's like in it, it's like I'm very much so what you need. Like if you're talking to me, or especially like one of the biggest memories I have of helping my ex was like he's into real estate, but he also does interior design, and he had to help this couple. They had bought 2 houses that were connected, and he had to have the houses ready in a very short window of time. And then it ended up getting bumped up, and they were showing up in like 2 or 3 days, and it was a whole lot to do. So I like canceled my days, and we spent the night at that house, and I helped him do get everything situated for that. So it's like, I'm going to show up for you. Whatever you need, I'm going to show up for you. You know what I mean? So Yeah. So acts of service for sure. And then I'm just like, I'm the person that which I need to do a little bit less and let them do more of for me. But like, I am a date planner. I want to go and do the things, and I want to make sure that we have opportunities to share experiences. So I will create those. So yeah. That was something so I ask these questions on Facebook all the time. We have a group, the Dear Black Gay Men Insiders, where I ask questions that kind of inform my podcast. Mm-hmm. And that was a sticking question is, who plans a second date? Yeah. That has changed.
Because I am very good at planning dates. I love planning dates and making an experience, but also I don't want to create a norm where I'm the only one planning dates. So it's
I know now in my now of things, it's like if I plan I don't mind planning the first one. You gotta, I'm leaving the next one to you. And
that's usually when I don't get the second date. Like I'll be like, okay, I plan this one, you plan the next one, and they be like, okay, and then 9 months pass, and they like, hey, big head, and I'm like, fuck
and then
you,
that's
nigga.
A hell no for me. I'm okay with that. You don't want to plan that second one, and I done told you that's what I need to receive, whatever I need to receive and feel from you to know that you are fucking with me. Then that means you have communicated to me that you're not fucking with me that hard, and I'm okay with moving on.
Or this is what I've learned. It could mean that they are very in tune with fucking with me. It's just they don't know how to activate. And either way, I'm like, oh, I'm good.
But my thing is I've given like it's you haven't had to. There's no guesswork involved in that. I've told you exactly what I need, and so it's like, I don't know. I am a very black and white person. I'm trying to learn a little bit more gray, but I'm a very black and white. Me too. I'm going to express to you what I need. If you don't, once you are knowledgeable of that, for me anyway, and you don't move in that way, that means to me that you're communicating that you are not interested in giving me, you know what I mean? That you are not interested or capable of providing me with what I need. And then I'm just going to move on.
This comment says they ain't got no money. that's the real problem. Look, they ain't got no money.
For a long time in LA, things just started turning around. Like in the past year or two, I know how to make a date out of, especially with me being a person that and I'm going to communicate it to you on that first date. I'm a person that love outside shit. You can take me on a picnic. I'm a picnic ass nigga. You can take me on a picnic.
I'm a picnic ass nigga. Yeah.
You can picnic the shit out of me. Take me to the park. Okay.
God, that did it.
See the effort and the fact that you did something that I would like. You know what I mean? Like that communicates a lot to me. So yeah.
Oh God, that took me out. He said, "I'm a picnic ass nigga." I'm a picnic ass nigga. I think I'm a picnic ass nigga too.
Ain't nothing cuter than a good, well-planned picnic. And don't bring some wine too. If you bring wine and food, you got wine, food, and good conversation. I'm sold. I'm thinking about date number 3 at that point.
Oh, I'm still stuck on picnic ass nigga, but got it. I think that's a great place to take a break. We'll be right back. What up, though? I am Jay the Gentleman. You've been enjoying Dear Black Gay Men Podcast. Now we're premiering our new show. It's Dear Black Gay Men Live, and it's live streamed every week on our YouTube channel. We talk sex, love, relationships, culture with real people every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Then the podcast is still new every Wednesday. You can download the new episode of Dear Black Gay Men Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts. And Thursdays, Ra the Wizard and I are still live for Black Light Matters right here on our YouTube channel. I am Jay the Gentleman, and I'll see you on Dear Black Gay Men on YouTube. So, J.Gordon, every episode, I ask my guest a question from tonight's conversation cards. Tonight's conversation cards, it's the question deck that offers deep, stimulating, and tantalizing conversation. Are you ready for your question?
I'm ready.
So yours is coming from the Essential First Date Icebreakers, because I like to treat Dear Black Gay Men Live like a date. So we just had our first date. This one says, do you believe in soul ties? Soul, S-O-U-L ties. Why or why not?
I don't think I do. I believe in very deep connections, but I don't know whether I believe in like a soul tie. I don't think that, or maybe it's something I haven't experienced, but I don't think there is a person that I cannot, like detach myself from, I don't think so. Or I haven't experienced it yet.
So you don't think there's like the one?
I'm not a believer in the one. I'm a believer in you encounter people that you are more compatible, that you are kind of extremely compatible with. But I don't believe in like the one. Because my thoughts are these. The logic behind that is like, so you telling me that you born with this one other person that can make you happy wherever the hell he is in the world. What happens if he get ran over by a car? You just destined to be alone. I mean, alone forever just because that one, I just don't think that that's it. I don't think that's the way we designed.
So could it be that the one can exist, but you have to grow with them? Like, I don't believe that there's a one out there that I just fit with no work and it's just me and him again and nobody else. I don't believe in that shit. Okay. But I do believe that I can meet someone who is, a normal person and we develop a connection that is unique and specific to the two of us and he becomes my one. I think he can grow to be my one. Yeah.
Now that I agree with. I do. Yeah, I agree with that. Yes. Let me make sure. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that you can meet a person and have a very unique connection with that person, and and grow with them, and if they're willing to do that work as well, y'all can just flourish together. I agree with that.
Does relationship look like marriage for you?
I would.
Is that a goal?
That is the goal for me. Yes. Want to be somebody's husband.
Like big wedding, small wedding, doesn't matter.
I want a big one. I already found my suit. I already know what a lot of things I would like.
Are you gonna sing at your wedding?
No. People, you know what? I am one of those people. I'm one of those musicians that I don't like to go and do music things for fun. Music stuff to me is like it's work. Like, granted, I enjoy it, but like, no, I'm not singing at my. That's a party. I want to get drunk and be up, and be kicking it with my man. I don't want to be singing at that's somebody else's job. I pay somebody else to do that.
I'm here for that. So, fun fact, because you're in California and weed is legal, I was gonna I have like edible tea. And I was going to be sipping my edible tea, but I said by the time this interview is over, I ain't going to be able to make a sentence if I did that. So it's wine today.
I should have gotten.
But I'll get me some edible tea later. When you come out with your next project, when I come to California, I'll have you back on and we'll have wine together for our next conversation.
Look, I'm always down for some wine. There are some things in the works. We're gonna let this one rock for a while though, but there are a lot of things in the works because now I'm just like, pedal to the metal when it comes to creating. So there are some things in the works. I'm looking at like the summertime where I might like do y'all might see me pop out with some more music because now I'm just kind of loving it. I'm loving doing it. I'm loving everything. So y'all might see me pop out with some, this one here I needed to heal. And the summer I'm gonna need somebody, I'm gonna need to make them throw a little ash, so that one might be, that might be your fun turn up experiences, who knows?
Will you have visuals for this album?
You know what? I have been I'm terrified of visuals, so that means yes, I am going to like lean into everything I'm scared of this year. So I'm working that out. I'm kind of in the process of working it out now. I'm gonna do it. Like I'm scared of it, so that means I need to lean into it. So yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to all of this. I will say that before I record, I'm blasting music in my house. Like my neighbors 2 doors down know what I'm playing because it's just loud. And you were on the speakers today, and somebody literally came to my door and was like, "Who is that?"
Oh, good.
And I gave him.
Did you give him the link?
I gave him the link.
Yes.
It's not they were a stranger. I knew who it was. It was my neighbor. So, but she came up to my door and she was like, "Who is that?" And I gave her the link. So you got one more. You got me and her listening definitely in Atlanta.
Yes, I love that.
Me and her. I think I heard her playing you as she drove off. Because again, I live in the hood and people blast music.
As they should. As they should.
As they should. Good music like yours, they should blast.
Thank you.
So I want to thank J.Gordon for joining me. His newest project, Z, is available on all streaming platforms. You can follow him at J.Gordon Official and subscribe to Blu The Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Play. Sir, it was so good talking to you.
Yeah, I had a ball. So we can do this anytime.
Thank you for joining me. Yeah. Of course. I told you it's going to be painless. Okay. Until next time.
Alrighty, bye-bye.
So tomorrow on Dear Black Gay Men Podcast, I'm talking about Brandon. Y'all know I don't like using people's real names. You can download Dear Black Gay Men Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts. You know Brandon is not his real name, but the date we went on was real, and I genuinely enjoyed it. Tomorrow I'm talking about everything that happened leading up to that date, what happened on the date. I'm giving you the inside tea on what happened after the date. But Brandon, just like J.Gordon, is on his way to achieve magnificent things. I could feel it. While he isn't a musician, I can tell something big is about to happen in Brandon's life. I walked away from my date with Brandon just how I'm feeling right now. I'm inspired. I'm motivated to make my own big shit happen in my life because that's what dope friends do. They inspire us. They motivate us. They'll occasionally check us on our bullshit, but they give us the encouragement to keep going. So, dear Black gay men, you are dope, whether you believe it or not. If you haven't heard that from someone you love, I'm telling you right now. That was our show. I am Jay the Gentleman. If you like this episode, make sure you subscribe to Dear Black Gay Men on YouTube and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Meet me here every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and I will see you next time. Bye.